Group 1, you can continue. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's start with that.
Dan langsung
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm Nicholas from Group 1. Okay. We planned from our group. So the program, the station is Amara Media Corporation. Here the producers are Burhan, Amelor, Kaptam, and Ethiopios, so Group 1. And the format is the story narration, and the topic is the child prostitution on Shuarabit. Shuarabit is a place in the North Shore in Amhara, in the region of Amhara. So child prostitution. So the topic is focused on the child prostitution. So here the audience who are participated in the, or the parents who are participated on the program is the family child, even if the family, the city administration, the women affairs, the small business enterprise, and the society. These are incorporated in the program, and the audience is the whole society. The audience we plan, the audience will be the society, and the time is the time that we choose to broadcast the program is Sunday to Sunday, 2:30, Sunday on 2:30 at the night. This is the local time, so we choose because this is a free day, so everybody can listen to the program. So the duration of the program is 30 minutes. So the target audience will be most of the society who lives around the radio coverage area. So this is the one, and the category of B, the reason of broadcasting. Why this program is prepared, so the rationale behind the program is one, to find a solution, because as we believe around Shuarabit, this is the young prostitution, especially the females are engaged, many children are engaged in prostitution, so they are exposed for a child and other socio-economic problems. So we use this program, when we broadcast this program, the rationale behind the program is to find a solution one. And the second is to show the magnitude of the problem, how the problem is worse, so this is another reason. The other is to save female children from such worse forms of child labor, so this is the reasons for behind the broadcasting. And the audience engagement. When you see the audience engagement, our audience may engage via phone call. We plan for phone call and text and other platforms. The mains are the phone and text call, or the phone call and text. And when we choose the guests will be try to balance in all aspects. Let us say time on the position of their gender or political view or any other. From the geographic, we try to balance. If during the program, if we face any problem, how can we manage? So we try to managing the speakers through framing their view. Let us say if some of the audience may out of the view, we try to frame them. So this is one of the techniques that we use. And the other is focusing on the agenda. let us say whenever the guest speaker or the other the audience they may speak out of the agenda. So at this time we try to reframe them and we try to focus by reminding them. We try to focus on the agenda, and if there is also any other problems, apology is one of the techniques. Apology is one of the techniques to guests or for the audience. So this is we try to manage the critical situation in such ways. The other is standby for those if there is an error. We try to use by backup data, having internal resource data set. If the phone call is or if the guest is out of control or if any trouble is happening, we try to use backup data or have a little resource. Any music, general transaction, the communicate for. So this is one of the techniques. So here it is the sample plan for our program. The running order. This is the running order for our program. Here is the times are listed here, and who can do this? Here we are listed here, and what activities are there here, and the procedures. Let us say, as I said earlier, the program is the duration of the program is 30 minutes, so the broadcast time is 2:30. So in 2:30, there is teaser that hot issues that start the story. Let us say the hot issues of the story. Then there is a teaser, or then we consider the clips. And in 2:31, the presenter announcing the program and the content and the address and other issues. So here from 2:31 for 3 minutes, the presenter have a time here, and from 2:34 there is a bridge. So the bridge of the program, there is clip sound, and in 2:35, the victim female or the victim child come here, and the situation of the why she is engaged on prostitution and other, and her age, her grade, academic performance, and her family status, and other issues are here. So starting from the victim female, the presenter will narrate. The presenter will narrate the situation with the background information, how she looks like, how in a descriptive way the pastor, how the severity of the situation is. So he described in this way from from 2:35 into 2:40, and the other is a victim female for how long she worked and challenges of she faced is in 2:45 up to 2:47, and in 2:47 family, or if she has a family in Chuarwit, or if she didn't have a family, we are focusing on the society. How do they feel about prostitution, especially on the young ones, on the young females? So we consider the clips. And in 2:53, the women affairs also incorporated. Women affairs expert about the overall situation of prostitution in the town, what is their role, and related questions are listed here. And in 2:56, the victim also comes here, and what she needs to out from this, what she needs. So what she needs to out from prostitution. So in 2:57, the enterprise of the town, let us say here we try to discuss about job opportunities and other opportunities for young women who are the victim of prostitution. And in 3, the presenter concludes and narrates and suggests the solution. This is related to music clips and other is considered here. So this is our plan. Thank you. Any question?
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any question for me?
me? After we've heard all the words. Thank you so much.
Shall we go to group 2 or shall I invite from anyone who wants group 1? If you
Now maybe group 2 or Jane and then.
Yes, please.
Because we run short of time, so if we do the 3 groups and then we give the feedback.
Please come. Sir, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Okay, thank you. I am Elias from Group 2. So, shall I start?
Yes, please.
Please, yes.
Our program to be only the station from Amara Media Corporation 96.9. The program producers are all of our my group mates, Melcom, Ranu, Gernet, and I, Elias. Our program format is magazine or package format. It enlarges to or lengthy to 6 minutes or 1 hour. The topic is laid on child surveillance system in rural area near to Bahar Dar, specifically in around Zanzelma. Child surveillance as a step in rural area means parents deal with some other people to send their child or their children instead of their activity. They are receiving money or other benefits. So we are deal with this issue. Engaging participants, there are many stakeholders or engaging participants which are participate in this program. The first one is children or victims, direct victims will be the first participant of this program, and the second one is parents of those children, and employers by themselves also will participate in this program. The legal advisor, right advocates, that means the human rights advocates and the child rights advocates could be included in this program. And finally, labor affairs government officials could be included in this program. When we see the skeleton of our program, we decide that Vox Pop comes first, should be comes first. This Vox Pop should be connected from different variants of societies, and next to Vox Pop, it would be comes introduction, the introduction part of the program. It will be presented by the reporter or the presenter, and victims as well as partners comes next. And on the middle of the program, it's better if we invite the audience to entertain by music, which is related with the program. Employers, legal advisors, and the consultants will be next part of this program. And the target audience for our program would be the first one is children, the total community, as well as parents and employees are our target audience for this program. And we decided that this program would be better if it's only on Sunday night from 2 up to 3. Because, as you know, Sunday, the weekend day, and farmers take rest in this day.
So during the night, 2 o'clock, hopefully all farmers will be going to their enter to their homes and enjoy their time with their families. So that time could be more preferable for this program to be on air. Okay, this is all about our program total issue, but when it comes to the skeleton and the running order, the first one is, as I said before, as I said earlier, our program starts from 2 o'clock to 3 on Sunday night. The first one is for 3 minutes long. The presenter briefing the issue, and the presenter can tell the format of the program as well as the options. How can audience engage with the program? For example, with cell phone, email, or SMS, as well as many options could be participate to the program, and the reporter is responsible, the producer is responsible to announce for 3 minutes. That means from 2 up to 2:03. When the time is on 2:03, the box office comes next. The main issue in box office telling about the worst form of labor by child servants, especially which are serving the community or serving someone as a slave, and it will be enlarged for 5 minutes. This box office will be collected, as I said before, as I said earlier, collected from different communities, including the victims. When the time comes to 2:08, the presenter is in, so he is responsible to reminding again the issue, because in order to give a press for the issue, so he is responsible to telling about the worst form of labor in child. So he is responsible to remind, as well as he is responsible to inviting audiences to listen as well as to participate. As I said, the audiences can participate with different options, whether cell phone or email or SMS and other social medias. And the reporter is responsible to announce these options. When the time is 2:10, victims and parents' audio files will be present. So this is all about telling a story in brief. That means victims telling their story, what is made or what is the activity that is occur in their life, and later on parents also tell us about they practice how they change their child to with many or other, for example, crops and other benefits. Anyway, they tell us about these issues. On to 2:18, the presenter and the caller can engage to the air. The presenter inviting audiences to participate, or participants or audiences. This we have to consider here the phone, the SMS, or as well as the email. We have to check these equipments are active, unless if they are not active, the presenter should change or should see another options or opportunities. At 2 to 8, we decide that it would be better if the audience take rest with music, which is related with our topic or our program. It's enlarged to 3 minutes. That means from 2 to 8 up to 2:31. pre-order the news. At 2:31, the presenter come and he is responsible to summarize the formal issues. That means when I say the formal issues, issues that raised by the victims and the parents as well as the employees. He is responsible to what issues were covered earlier, and he established smooth conditions for the next guests or the next invited guests, for example, the legal advisors, as well as participants and the concerned parties, for example, the labor affairs. At 2:35, the employers comes next. They are responsible to speak about how they hire trials or hiring process for their employees, and they are responsible to tell this issue, not only the process, how it is going on inside their home. They are responsible to read or to speak this one. Up to this point is allowed for 5 minutes. Up to 4 or up to 40 labor affair, that means the local government labor affair comes and is responsible to telling about the controlling and monitoring activities. In this circumstance, how are they performing their jobs, and they are responsible to brief these two issues, the controlling and the monitoring activity. I think this is the final part. At 2:48, the legal advisor is come and he is responsible to raising the legal issues, the legal frameworks, and regarding which child level, and he is responsible to citing the legal framework as well as the proclamations and different legal frameworks for the general audience, for the child, for the parents, and for the employers. And finally, at 2:55, that means when 5 minutes left to conclude our program, the presenter come and he is responsible to conclude what was the issue about, what was the most concrete ideas has been covered in the program, and state what issues were covered in general. And finally, at 3:00, the program ID to the owner and the final of this program is concluded. This is all about.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to hear group 3, and after that we'll give some feedback. Jane, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
So is that the sheet for group 3?
Yes,
Okay, thanks.
my team produced 10-minute podcast for Fun FM 98.1. So the topic of the program is child sex workers exploitation in Bahar Dar. Unfortunately, all groups produce programs on this area, sex workers exploitation. So the source of our program is children's, and the children's, that means victims of sex workers with their parents, the community, and the social worker or experts. The audience, the community as a general is our audience, and specifically policy makers, community advisors is another audience for us. We plan to broadcast this program Saturday evening in Ethiopian time at night from 2 up to 1 We choose this program as our previous test area. We choose this program for because of the data is not working there. So we broadcast this program for because of to make influence the government to allocate necessary budget in next year. The regional government will have a meeting to allocate annual budget for all sectors after 1 month. So because before this program, this podcast, if this program will be broadcasted, there will be influence on government. Our audience will reach us by mobile, text, and the stereo phones. If the stereo phone is not working, there will be the mobile or other device to text to get the audience's feedback by text means. Women experts, our guests is women experts, government officials and children or victims. If there will be a challenge, actually one editorial or one program team will consider challenges and means before going to produce one program. So there will not be a cut on that program. We are ready for everything if the phone or other way, if the phone is not working, another means as I stated earlier. So this is the running order for 10-minute programs which will broadcast on Fan FM 98.1. The first thing is intro part. The intro means ID for the program. ID will be produced with some narrative or some songs. That means if, for example, BBC or other well-known program, BBC News Hour or other worldwide most known program, when they start, they have their own color or their own ID. As such, we have our own ID for 20 seconds. So after the program ID, the presenter will talk about the program. The program will concern on this and we can take or can call on this phone number. The presenter will present this way. After the presenter introduces the program, there will be a box which contains all the sounds from the victims, the experts, and other components of the program. And there will be songs or bridges to transfer another component of the program with 30 seconds. The main part of this podcast, interview with children, will follow with 2 minutes. A reporter who make the interview will present his 2-minute program with interview with the children or victims. Will be contained with this 2-minute part, and after 20-second bridge, there will be another interview with experts. Actually, it is better to have an interview with women experts concerning on this issue. After another 20-second bridge, there will be another interview with the government officials about their plan to tackle this problem. Finally, with 1 minute, the presenter will come to complete the program, and he or she must explain the audience's feedback will be used for decision making. And as a closing, the idea comes again, and this is all about our program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I see that you've been thinking a lot about the program and you really understood the exercise of the time and trying to set very specific time and structure to the program. I have one question, and I think to all of you, when you will say that the presenter comes at the end, I mean, are you planning any program that the presenter asks questions to the interviewee? Because we're talking about a discussion program. Are you maybe you can relay the answers?
Okay. Can you repeat the question, please?
No, it's just that, you know, all the group they insisted that the presenter comes back at the end. So I just wanted to ask if in a format the presenter is actively participating or is just asking the question, letting the interviewer just speak, and then go into the next one.
Yeah, I
It is
think.
not a live program, is it?
Huh?
It is not a live program. It's a product.
Okay, I think it's not a live program, it's production. So you say.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's a production, okay, it's not a live program. Was it going to be a live program, Jane? Because
Yes, they were asked to do a discussion program, yes. To do a discussion program where people phone in, it needs to be live, yes.
Because I noticed and I thought that it was good that when a victim was speaking, you would use an audio recording. That is something you can use in a live program as well, because of course you don't necessarily want to have the victim, especially if it's a child sitting on a discussion program that is live. You know, so you can make use of those testimonies even in a live program and just play a short audio clip. The other thing I wanted to ask, some of the groups, when you mentioned the audience, you mentioned children. You may want to think about the format for children, because they may not stay engaged in the discussion program with loads of adults.
ወላጆቻቸው ጋር እኔ ብያለሁ። ስምና ስሟን ኦሚት አድርጎ ሬዲዮ ላይ እኛ ስቴሽን አላለም ለብቻዋ ባለች በሴክሲዮን ጠብቆ እንታይማለን።
It's a packaging with the live program.
Yeah.
Packaging with the live program.
No, it is not about live program.
Okay.
We are talking about production program. So we are going to interview her with Omid Hamdi. No, no discussion. Interview.
Okay. I think the last one you said that their program it's not live format, it's a format of like production program
Podcast,
and podcast for 10 minutes. They are producing anything before it goes to live.
Okay.
And I think in the first program, are you including the data? That's what I thought.
Okay, I understand. That's fine, because you know, I understand that you have a very good sense of timing in the program and in a very, very precise schedule, which of course you would need in radio. There's another point I'd like to make, and I think it was maybe group one. It was in group one about the prostitution. You limited your audience to a small area in Amara, and I think that this kind of topic could be, you know, could reach a much broader audience, even if it happens in one place. You know, it could easily be, you could easily target a regional audience, because you can be of interest to many people outside of the region. I mean, Jen, you have any comments on the technical side? I mean, Jane is a radio producer, so
So
I'm afraid it's the technical side.
I think it is hard to talk about the technical side when we're not actually making programs. So I totally understand that it's unfair in a sense because you're not actually doing it. We're just planning it. But certainly the third group, I mean, I'll talk about all the positives of what you did, but you didn't do what you were asked to do, is the first thing. You didn't make a discussion program. So please just think about that in future. In the mentoring, we ask you to make a package. You have to make a package. In the course, we asked you to plan a discussion program. And there's a reason for that. It's because we want to talk about the live issues. I would say you had some really good stuff in group 3. I think it was important you described it as child sexual exploitation in Bardar. And group 1, calling it child prostitution, language changes. I appreciate the language may be different in Ethiopia, but basically we're talking about rape. We're talking about children who are raped for money. And that's one of the problems, is it's not actually that clear. Sometimes when people listen to programs, they think, oh, child prostitution, it's probably a girl who's making money. It's generally not. It's generally a girl who is raped for money, and money goes to a gang or goes to an individual who's making a lot of money from her. Maybe it's her father, maybe it's not, maybe it's a gang, right? So I think one of the ways is to make these stories, which are real life experiences for people, much more connected to the real world, is we call it what it is. And we don't hide behind other ways of describing it, okay? So, and I think this is partly what, when Dominique was saying, is this for children? That's kind of when we need to think about what children will be listening, because it is different making a program for children than making a program about children, right? And I know some of you work on children's issues. If you're doing a program for 7-year-olds about this issue, there would be very different ways that you would describe things than if you're making a program for adults, okay? So never, ever have a child alive on a discussion program on this issue, right? That's from our safeguarding stuff. Legally, it's just wrong to put them on live, right? You should always pre-record them, and that's, group 3, we were talking about pre-recording them. You should never put them on live. You should never bring them into a studio and get them to talk about being raped for money or being child. You shouldn't. You talk to them, you use the guidelines, you're never alone with them, and you never exploit. You make sure you have consent and everything. You make it a very controlled environment and do the interviews that way. So that, again, that's, if you take anything away from this course, and I hope you take lots away, but that is so important. You never interview them live on the radio, ever. And you always have consent when you go to talk to them, okay? And you never talk to them. So that's just it's kind of really important. So never bring them in the studio. Lots of really great stuff, Group 1. I mean, it was quite a sort of up-close program, but you talked about, what you're trying to do is find a solution, show the magnitude of the problem, and save children from prostitution. And I would like to have heard a little bit more about how you were going to find that solution. So I didn't hear you talking about getting politicians on or the police. It is illegal. What is happening? Those are that's how you're going to get the change, is by holding these people to account. We need to say, we have this story, we have these children who have spoken to us, we have their families, or we have their teachers, or we have the NGOs or the charities who are working on this. What are you, our local politician, going to do? Right? This is holding them to account, but this allows you to present the information, to show them the information, and ask them for their response. So I would like you to move a little bit in that direction. Group 2, I'm going to hand over to you, Dominique, shortly. Group 2, I think you were more on that side. I think you talked about getting government officials, getting child rights experts and things. I think here, what I wanted to hear was a little bit of conversation about the benefits of children being in school. Right, instead of, so you're getting people saying, well, they're child servants or because of, financial reasons and everything. If you want to have change, you need to have a voice who's going to say, okay, you've got the legal affairs voice, which is fantastic, who's going to say it's illegal. But you want a bit more of someone saying, if we keep children in school, they become educated, it's all the documentation and facts, so they will earn more money, they will be more successful, they will be able to support their families when their parents or their grandparents are older because they will have better jobs and they will therefore benefit society much more. So just think about how you're showing, that's back to facts and figures of information. Think about how you say, this is what happens, this is the facts and figures is what happens. So let's talk about how we achieve that. And then group 3, some nice things in it, but it's not a discussion program, so it's kind of difficult to get. You can't engage people if it's all pre-recorded and it's a podcast. So, Dominique.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jane. You've covered a lot of ground, so I don't have much more to add to what you said. All I can say is that welcome everybody. I'm very conscious of time. I know it's Friday, you want to leave earlier, the course is supposed to finish earlier, some of you may have to travel back to your home. So I think we would like to use the remaining time to wrap up the course, to thank you for your participation, for your engagement, for your hard work, because I know you all worked really hard for our exercises. I hope we will not too much for you. We probably want to give the floor very soon to our colleague Chris, who's the coordinator of the group program. He's organizing all the courses that have taken place to date. Anything else we want to wrap up on the whole course, Jane? There is the mentoring that's going to come. I think Chris, you mentioned it yesterday.
Sorry. There's I think my WhatsApp is not working well if it's not reached the message. The World Education people is arrived and the certificate is our hand. Chris, can you show your face? Can you
Perfect.
Camera, please?
It's your going to get a certificate for completion of that course. And it's a little reward for your hard work for the last 3 days. I know it wasn't always easy. It's a bit complicated when we were away. With the distance, the power cuts, the internet connection was okay.
I think Chris is not on his camera.
No, Chris is not. He's going to come any minute. Finally, are there any more questions on the course on the last 3 days? You know that you can apply now to the mentoring. As Jane explained, the mentoring program is all about producing a radio program.
Radio package.
Radio package. Sorry, it's the end of the course. Okay. A radio package. If you want to speak to previous mentees and people who've been on the mentoring scheme and who've produced a radio package, you can ask Ayele. You can share the packages that were produced and went on air with you. and then you can listen and you will see the rules, what it was that we worked on. You know, there is, I appreciate all the details about your deadline for preparing your proposal and submitting it. So I don't know, any more question on that? Are there any questions from the audience on the mentoring program, as well as any part of the course where either they didn't have the opportunity to ask a question or make a comment?
Oh, that's interesting. Comment, suggestion, reflection. If you have anything, Director, can you close? I want to talk the word. Okay.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone who has feedback on the please come here.
Hello again, Dominic Ndije.
Hello again.
Thank you so much for the time you spent together with us for the last 3 days. Really appreciate your commitment and professional comments. We enjoy a lot. We have got a good lesson. I hope we'll find you in person one day, maybe if you can meet again. So we really appreciate it. We have good meetings for you.
Thank you. That's what we're hoping too. And we regret not to have been able to be in the room with you. It would have been a different type of course, but the COVID pandemic has changed many ways of working, so we're hoping that we'll be able to come to Ethiopia soon.
Yeah, sure. So that's why I can confirm that we all are happy that they were happy. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Another feedback?
Several parts.
Then,
ከዛ አንድ ላይ በኢሜል ትልክልናል። እሱን አንስቶ ለተወሰነ ፎቶ አንድ ላይ አይደል የተወሰነ ሰርቲፊኬቱንና አሁን ቅድም ብቻችን አንስቶ ያለው ብቻ የተወሰነ እንጂ ዳታው
especially the community radio, it is very important for to change other reporters to use this way of reporting the system. So I say thank you for to give this opportunity.
Thank you for your participation. It's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
okay, one more feedback from Yes. All these.
Okay, thank you guys for your time. We spent a fruitful time because we grasped a lot from you, especially from Jane, from Dominic. You've stayed a long time in the chair and you present a lot. So this is, I personally appreciate your strength, your commitment, especially to do something for us, for Ethiopian journalists to maximize our capacity. So I thank you a lot for Chris also and the other presenters. So thank you for your time and keep in touch, please.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's such a pleasure for us to be involved with working with you guys. It really is a privilege for you to share your experiences and your ideas with us. I only wish that we could be with you, but as we say, maybe in the future.
Yeah, thank you everybody. It was really, really great to spend 3 days virtually with you. It brings us a little closer to Ethiopia, even if we're not there, physically. And there is Chris. So Chris, we're just wrapping up, and then we can pass on the call to you.
Wonderful. Are we wrapped up? Are we ready?
Yeah, we've just had some really lovely feedback from participants. We've finished our program, so now it's up to you.
Excellent. And how was day 3? Is it all gone well today?
Well, you have to ask them when we're not here.
Well, guys, it's my pleasure, I suppose, to wrap everything up. Today, it's been a really, really good course. So I've got various thank yous to say, of course, and we have certificates to hand out. And a couple of things before I do get boring stuff out of the way. Some of you have responded to my email yesterday with your proposal form, your story proposal form. So thank you. I hope everyone has received it. If you have not received it, please let me know, or please let the radio know, and I will send it over. There were a couple of questions about signatures. On the bottom of the form, there is a gap for a signature. Please don't worry about this now. So you can send the form to us without a signature. That is absolutely fine. We only need a signature for the stories that are selected for the mentoring scheme. So please don't worry about printing off the form or getting it signed. Please just send us the Word document. I've listened to various bits over the last 3 days. There's always a really interesting course. It's a great learning opportunity for me as well. As I've said before, I'm not a journalist. I thought about it for some time, I never quite made it. You guys did. So this is always wonderful for me. Just a couple of things I think I would like to emphasise from the PACE project side of things. One thing that I think you've covered in the course is how you engage with your audiences. We are really, really interested to know how your listeners respond to the pieces of radio that you produce. So if you are able to introduce elements where people can share their feedback via phone or SMS, we're really interested to hear about that. The other point I would just make is the child protection point again, which Jane and Dominique were talking about the last 3 days. The importance of consent and also the importance of not using children's names in your broadcast. We can't reiterate that enough. The phrase we always use in all of these programs, and we have someone from World Vision in the room, expert nodding, is the best interests of the child. We should always be considering the best interests of the child in anything that we're doing relating to these issues. So again, please consent and no names. At Thomson Reuters Foundation, if we are reporting on children's issues, which of course we do, we will often use an alternative name. And of course that is absolutely fine. That doesn't detract from the quality of your broadcast. So those are the only points I was going to make. I think before we run into thank yous, does anyone have any questions for me about the story proposals, the mentoring process, or next steps?
Wow, that's a great another chance to say anything you want to relate with anything called our weakness, because this program is not like the final program, we are training. We have also another training with our programs. So you can tell us everything what you have to do here. You will make good ways for the future. It helps out from programs or other social. And also our impact is not like blank out after this training. We'll continue with a selected format. You have to have a chance to produce your program, reviews, analysis. So that's also the arm of this program. So we want to listen also your promise as well as your feedback for the last 3 days, including the learning and the training system gaps in anything you want. So of course, someone will reflect your idea, but if you want to ask even from any station on the program, the plan is also a proposal, as please invited. This is the audience of yours. You are also Garrett family. Am I right, Chris? Sorry, was.
Of course. And if there's no questions, that means hopefully we communicated it very clearly, which is great.
So we are a Garrett family. After studying, you are certified as a family. So.
Okay.
Anyone?
If there's no questions, that's absolutely fine. I know it's Friday, it's late, we've got a weekend to look forward to, and many of you have a long distance to travel. And so I think, again, let's do some certificates. Is it the Reggie who can handle that?
Yeah. We check the hierarchies. So the Reggie is our top was on this training. So you are representing the radio. The certificate says from Reuters Foundation, Radio Journalism Training Program, Bahadar Ethiopia, through online. Acting the Radio Journalism Training Program, Wisconsin Reuters Foundation, from 13th to 15th October 2021. The first presented the accomplishment of the training based on medical evidence. Brahman Dasta Wanjitra Sodi Abtham Dainacho Amador Kiasi Theodros Kenneth Molla, Yorkwa Highway, Elias Yorkwa Highway, Elias Fatana, and Secretary Temple. The case of the certificate presentation is not any preparation only chances of firing. It's considered finally we can take a picture after that. It's completed and finally.
Honestly, there are some
Thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you, Eddie. It's always one of the favourite parts of these trainings, the certificates at the end. Right. So it's a pleasure to give the thank yous at the end as well. I really enjoyed this part. And there's a lot of people to thank. But I'm going to begin with our trainers, Jane, Dominique, and Ayele, who have been working with us for, it's been years now, actually. Years, and it's been such a pleasure, and I mean this incredibly sincerely. It is always an absolute pleasure working with you all. You guys made this training possible, 100%. You get up at all sorts of times in the morning to make the time difference work for us to deliver this when we have to be in the UK. The work that goes on behind the scenes to make these trainings possible is very significant. So at TRF, we are incredibly grateful, as always, to Jane, Dominique, and the Thank you very much. Give me a hand for our trainers today. I would also like to thank Director and the Amara Media Corporation. Used to be Anima, of course, when we first started working together. It's been a really important partnership for us on the PACE programme and working with you guys, and I look forward to our continued partnership together. We're now moving into the final 12 months of the PACE programme, before we will not have time to go quickly. But working with you has been valuable insights to the organisation. And we really hope that we will continue to take this framework forwards after the end of the project. So thank you for all your support, Rachel. A couple of quick thank yous to the room. Of course, to the Malview Hotel, again, for hosting this training. It's the second time we have done this course here at Malview. I have to say, the setup is fantastic. We really thought hard about how we could deliver this training online and be able to continue this work once COVID began. And thanks to the very impressive ICT setup at this hotel, we are able to bring this course to you. So a big thank you to the management of our hotel for continuing this course this week. And also, of course, to our cameraman, who I can't see right now because I think he's behind the camera. But Anwar, again, thank you so much. I don't know if you're able to sort of follow the words in front of the camera so we can see you, but thank you. Thank you so much, Anwar. For us, on the other side of the laptop, you made this possible. Really, because otherwise we just see the room and smoothing. With Anna's camera work, we are able to see your faces, we are able to engage with you properly, and it makes such a difference for myself, and I know I speak for Jane as well, when I say it really allows us to engage with you as we would do if we were in the room, or as close as possible to what we would be able to do if we were in the room. So Anna, thank you so much. We look forward to working with you again in the upcoming training. One more really is to World Vision, and as I explained at the beginning of the course, the PACE programme is a partnership with organisations. There are actually 6 of us working on this programme to combat the worst forms of child labour. World Vision is a big organisation over there, and again, they're incredibly supportive of us, Thomson Reuters Foundation, while we are unable to travel. So Milan, who is somewhere in the hotel, a big thank you to him and our colleagues at World Vision, and you'll be seeing them shortly after this course concludes to pick up your Indian payments and also the transport reimbursements for those of you travelling this evening and tomorrow. So thank you to World Vision as well. Very finally, guys, it's you. Thank you all sincerely for the last 3 days. Actually, for some of you it's been 4 days. I know you've travelled very far, and not always in the easiest of circumstances in India at the moment. So we are incredibly grateful for you for getting here and for your active participation over the last 3 days. It's really been a pleasure getting to know you as well as we've been able to, but also working with you on this course the last 3 days. We look forward to working with you more. Please keep in touch with us. You have our contact details, you have my contact details. We are really interested to hear about what we do next with this information. Okay, so please do stay in touch. Huge thank you from all of us at the Thomson Reuters Foundation. And best of luck with what comes next. Thank you also, of course, to your radio stations for allowing us to have you 3 days in your busy schedules. I know there's a lot going on at the moment. I understand this course clashed with an important government meeting as well, I think. So we really, really are grateful for your attendance and participation. So that's really it from me. I don't think we have much more to add. Have a wonderful Friday, whatever you're doing. Collect your allowances, please, from World Vision. Do something, I don't know, profound with your assistants. Training, keep them in your offices, I don't know. But most importantly, produce some radio, please. Produce some radio for us on this really important topic. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Again, that's it from me. I don't know, Jane, or me, you get anything else you'd like to say that we present the program?
Nothing to add, but thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. In that case, it's very strange to just hit leave on the computer to say goodbye to you all, but that's what we're going to have to do. And we'll look forward to hearing from you next week with your story proposals. Please email me if there are any questions. I'm always available on the other side. Okay. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Saturday, that is our true photo ceremony here. Anwar, can you change the banner? Banner.
Will we stay in the photo actually, in the background?
Yeah. I think in banners, the banner background is good. The
Oh,
banner.
you don't want us to do a banner? No, the banner is fine. We do the banner.
Okay, including you.
Not just me.
Okay.
Bye.
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 አለች አይገባም መሰለኝ ይቆርጣል
Antes nada por